July 1st. Awesome. Beautiful. Codependent no more. I repent to have lost him. I repent to have lost him. He followed me everywhere, but I snapped him off with an air. He pursued me to listen to his sincere wishes, to win his fame and all his riches. But I'm bored of hearing it said I and don't mind staying without the fire. His ego was hurt, his mind disturbed, far off he went like lightning. Until I could catch sight of him, I twisted in bed all through the night, and the morning brought its light. I looked for him in lovely gardens. I climbed many mountains to reach him and swam 1,000 oceans to search him. I even looked for him in deep valleys. I fasted for days together, meditated for years in succession, but alas, 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 all is in vain. For now I am aged, having nothing gained. I cannot read, nor can I write, and successful in life's every field. So my only request to you young folks is try and gain knowledge wherever you go, for he comes but once to persuade you, and then flies away with time, never again to turn behind. Education is the only 9-letter word that has all the vowels in. Just as no word can be formed without a vowel, no man can be formed without education. So educate yourself now. Now turn around, see you have won. Education is the key to success. Please see, after reading this poem, a totally illiterate man asked his best friend to teach him ABCD, also the vowels A-E-I-O-U. Next day he started praying to God 5 times ABCD, EFGHIJK, LMNOPQRSTUVWXYZ. And on he went on saying A-E-I-O-U until it started sounding like A, I love you. On asking, he said God will form the words himself, so submit your all unto him. This little volume, the result of meditation and experience, as a man thinks, is not intended as an exhaustive treatise on a much written upon subject power of thought. It is suggestive rather than explanatory, its object being to stimulate men and women to the discovery and perception of the truth that they themselves are maker of themselves. By virtue of the thought which they choose and encourage, this mind is the master weaver, both of the inner garment of character and the outer garment of circumstance, and that as they may have hitherto woven in ignorance and pain, they may now weave in enlightenment and happiness. Thought and character. The aphorism, as the man thinketh in his heart, so is he, not only embraces the whole of man's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of his life. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. As the plant springs from and could not be without the seeds, so every act of the man springs from his hidden seeds of thought and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated, as those which are deliberately executed. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruit. Thus does the man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry. Though in the mind hath made us what thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes to him as comes the wheel of the ox behind. If one endure the purity of thought, joy follows him as his own cherished joy. Man is a growth by law and not a creation by artifice, and cause and effect are as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of the thought as the world, or visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is a natural result of continued effort in right thinking. The effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts and ignoble and wicked character by the same process is the result of the continued harboring of governing thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought he wages the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tool with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, man's essence to the divine perfection, by the abuse and wrong application of the thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the traits of character, and the man is the maker and master of all the beautiful truth pertaining to the soul, which have been restored and brought to light in this age. None is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this, that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, the lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself the transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. Man is always the master, even in his weakest and most abundant state, but in his weakest and degradation, he is a foolish master who misgoverns his household. When he begins to reflect upon his condition and in the search diligently for the law upon which his being is established, he then becomes a wise master, directing his energies with intelligence and fashioning his thoughts to future issues. Such is the conscious master, and man can only thus become by discovering within himself the law of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. Only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find where every truth connected with his being if he will dig deep into the mind of his soul, and that he is the maker of his character, the molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny. He may unerringly prove his usual watch control and alter his thoughts, stressing the effects upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrence, as the means of obtaining that knowledge of himself, which is understanding, wisdom, power. In this direction, as in no other, is the Lord. So with that, he that seek find, and to him that knock it shall be opened. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless importunity can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge, effect of thought on circumstances. A man's mind may be likened to a garden which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weak seeds are fallen therein and will continue to produce their kind. Just as a gardener cultivates his plot, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flower and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, impure thoughts, and cultivating toward perfection the flowers and fruits of the right, useful, and pure thoughts. By pursuing this process, a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. He also reveals within himself the laws of thought and understands with ever increasing accuracy how the thought forces, the mind elements, operate in the shaping of his character, circumstances, and destiny. Thought and character are one, and as character can only manifest and discover itself through environment and circumstance, the outer conditions of a person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to his inner state. This does not mean that a man's circumstance at any given time are an indication of his entire character, but that those circumstances